In the area of northwest Brooklyn in the 1600s, Peter Stuyvesant, who was a Dutch politician, purchased an area of land from the Lenape Native Americans, and he named the town Bushwick, which translates to neighborhood in the woods, and this would become modern-day Bushwick. Bushwick was comprised of 4 towns: Greenpoint, Bushwick Shore, which eventually became Williamsburg, Bushwick Green, and Bushwick Crossings. Bushwick Crossings is the area over there by Bushwick and Flushing, a few blocks down from Woodhull Hospital. And that was Bushwick. And so in the 1800s, the German immigrants flooded in, and they did pretty well. They did pretty well by the area. They started a string of breweries that was so successful. This area of Bushwick became known as Brewers Row, and one of the breweries actually still stands, which I'm standing in front of right now. It's 31 Belvedere Street, right off of Beaver Street, and this was the old Brewers Row. Not far from here, around the corner, there's a newly built complex called Rheingold Heights. Rheingold was one of the more popular beers that was brewed in this area. With the transition of beer moving over to aluminum cans, a lot of breweries had an incentive to leave New York City. After World War I, the Germans left and the Italians inhabited Bushwick. And it eventually became one of the biggest Italian neighborhoods in New York City, mostly Sicilians. After about the 1960s and 70s, you had floods of Puerto Ricans, and this became one of the primary Puerto Rican neighborhoods of New York City. You got to remember, in the 40s, FDR signed the GI Bill, and a lot of a lot of veterans moved out to, and families of veterans moved out to Long Island, Queens, and up in Westchester County, upstate New York. This is also during a period, if you watch my other videos, check them out when you get a chance: history of East New York, history of Brownsville, history of Flatbush, history of Crown Heights Part 1 and 2, and many more. Check them out. But during the same period the GI Bill was signed, within the next 15 to 20 to 30 years after that, you had what many call white flight, where a lot of the whiter, more established residents moved out to greener pastures, moved out to finer things in life, better areas. During the 1977 blackout here in New York City, Bushwick was hit pretty hard. Many of the stores along Broadway felt the wrath of looting and vandalism and rioting. So Bushwick became predominantly a Puerto Rican neighborhood. So it's very rich in Puerto Rican culture, but not so much anymore, as the area is becoming more and more gentrified. For the most part, due to its proximity to Manhattan, it's not too far. So we'll see what the future of Bushwick is looking like.